where our first actual posture is going to be a forward fold. So I was thinking we'd start in a back bend of your choice. I don't know what kind of props you have at home, so I don't know if you can do a very kind heart opener laying over a bolster or a pillow or a supported bridge on your back. If not, you can come forward and do Sphinx pose. And if there's a different back bend that you would like to maneuver into, feel free to do so. And in back bending, when we hold it in yin, I really encourage you to pick something that isn't going to be so overwhelming that it takes your breath away, but instead something that allows you to find depth with each breath and release. So if you'd like to start with some cleansing breaths once you get yourself set up into your back bends, just see where the breath is going to lead you tonight. For many people, there's an uncertainty that's enveloping us all. For many, life will go on as usual. For some, it really hasn't changed much at all. They already worked from home. They still do, and now all they do is they don't have to commute. So take a big breath in and a big breath out. Notice where you are in this situation. Is this a reset button? Is this much needed time to go inward and do some deep work? To really clean out some old closets and drawers. Maybe for you, you're busier at work than you've ever been because everybody's running short staff. And you're just exhausted and happy to be breathing on your mat tonight. Wherever the whirlwind of the chaos has taken you, this next hour or so, take you inside, where all the answers truly lie. Where going with the flow makes sense. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to get out of your ears and let yourself open. Open your heart. Open your front body. Release the tension in your sternum. Because everybody in here has done this a time or two with me, I'm going to give you the 1 to 5 mark. And you know if you need to get out of there, you got one breath left, you take it. If not, you go. Release whatever you've found. And if you found a new place where you just got to be there a little longer to let go, you stay until you're ready to join in. So wherever your forward fold, or wherever your back bend took you, we're going to move to cat and cow. So anxious I am to get to that forward fold. Now, I didn't tell you to bring a towel, a belt, a strap, or a tie. Back in the old days, yeah, we just struggled without. Maybe some cat-cows. I'm going to really encourage some hip circles tonight. Whether you were sitting or outside walking or out in the yard today, just give those hips some circles. And if you get some good knee pops, well, great. You could take them big or little, and then take them to the other side. Add in a few cat-cows or some barrel rolls with your chest, if that feels good. Letting each one of your inhales become a little bit deeper. Each one of your exhales becoming a little bit stronger. Without really forcing, just finding that beautiful connection between breath and body. Eventually, you're going to let your cat-cows turn into seated. So however you want to get there from your cat-cows. We're going to start with our right leg out long, and then bend the left knee and plant the left foot on the mat right behind your hip flexor. And if you're not much of a binder, this is where you're going to want your strap, your blanket, or your towel, or your tie, whatever you're using. First, we're going to lift both hands up right to the sky and put those shoulder blades into their sockets. Extend through your right leg and sit tall for 3 more breaths. Notice if you're resisting the urge to fall backwards, sideways, or forward. And then relax. And breathe. We're just trying to work it all out, body, breath, and mind. Come forward as you reach for your foot. And if you can grab your foot, grab it and pull. And then push back with your hips. If you can't reach your foot, that's a great place to use a strap. And then you can actually pull, and you can use a little bit of your bicep muscle here to engage. We're not trying to hurt ourselves though, so be nice. Keep an eye on that pinky toe. It might want to wing out on you. Don't let it. And notice if your right hip and left hip are equally pushing into the mat. Now, some of us will stay right here. Some of you will let go of the bind all put together and just bow in. And some of you are going to reach the left arm around your shin and the right hand behind your back. And you're going to bind with your hands, and then you're going to fold. Hug your knee in, pull your belly button in, and drop your shoulders down your back. So no matter where your arms are, it doesn't really matter. We're using them to assist us, or we're letting them go extremely passive. Once you find that sweet spot, breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. So we can go passive in our yin and allow all the muscles to disengage and put healthy stress on the joints. Don't become sloppy in your practice. Occasionally you might need to engage to feel where your blockages are. See if you can keep pushing into the big toe mound on your left foot. Not hard, just so we're not rolling onto the pinky toe side. Shoulders down, Crown of the head long. Hips rolling under. Relax your belly. And your jaw. You bump into something. What is it? Is that blockage ready to move? Is it turned into topics? Some fire, some heat? Did something dig in and decide to resist? What happens if you let go of the resistance? What happens if you surrender? You can take these last 3 to 5 breaths being extremely passive, especially if you had the bind or were pulling on a strap. Just take these last couple breaths, falling into the pose. And now we're at that 1 to 5 breath point. If you got those 1 to 5 breaths in there, you're going to take them. But then we're going to save this leg a little bit. So if you can reach for the bottom of your foot, you're going to reach for the bottom of your foot. If not, we're going to strap it or use a belt or a tie or a towel and just lengthen the leg out. Now we're going to hold this one for about 10 breaths. So if you're tight in the hamstrings, bend the leg. Right? The bottom leg could be bent as well. Sit up tall. You can bend the knee if you need to, a little or a lot. So play around with what works best for you, but then sit up. How much straighter can you make your spine? Shoulders down. Equal weight in both sit bones. Last few big belly breaths. If it feels right, you can even lift your chin on some of these. If it feels better, you can tuck your chin in. We're at our last 1 to 5 breaths. And from here, you can use the strap. We're going to pull that leg back, bending the knee, trying to get it past our armpit. I like to strap one hand. I also like to reach for the foot with the left hand, but if you don't reach for the foot, that's okay. But this is a pretty intense pose to hold as well. So we're going to be here for about 5 breaths. So just notice, because you might want to come back to this place, even if it's uncomfortable. It's only through that discomfort that change is going to happen. We don't change when we're comfortable. Sit tall, breathe deep. Now we're going to move into seated pigeon, and some of you are going to move into compass pose. So let's just straighten that leg out again in case yours got cramped out. No, you can do that at any time. And then we're going to bring the shin forward, and we're going to grab for the foot and the knee, kind of cradle the leg. Now, if that doesn't work, you just hold on where you can, or you can strap it too. You can use a strap, or you can come under the shin. So there are a lot of different ways to hold this heavy leg up there. Once you find yours, though, sit up tall and push out through the bottom of your right foot, and then try and push the back side of your right thigh down. Sit up tall and breathe deep. If it feels good, rock that baby. See how far you can get that hip to open. And this might feel really good. You might stay right here. This is where we're going to hold. Or if you're moving into compass, you're going to grab the bottom of your left foot with your right hand and slip your left arm underneath your left leg. And you're going to walk your leg up your shoulder, and this left hand is going to pin your hip back. And you can stay right here. There's no need to straighten the leg, but you could start to straighten the leg. And if it doesn't go straight, you've got this handy dandy strap. And so the strap makes our arms and our legs longer. So when we can't get the binds, we can actually get the pose without injuring ourselves. So if you're going to stay in compass, breathe there. If you got there and you were like, yeah, that's more than I asked for tonight, then come back to your seated pigeon. We're going to be there for a little bit while, a little bit longer, a little bit while. And if you started to lean back, know that you're at home. You could sit up against a wall. Even at the studio, you could do that. You could prop yourself against your bed, your dresser, cabinets. Allow yourself to sit tall. Breathe deep. Soften that space between your teeth. Become aware you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Become aware of the skin on your body. Become aware of any clenching in your gut. And then relax your belly. Relax your face. And breathe. Can you get your knee to stack over the hip? Oh, we're at that magical 1 to 5 breath place. If you need to get out, one more breath. You've got 5 more, you take them. So if you need to stretch that leg out to rehab it, go ahead. But otherwise, we're going to cross that left leg right over the right thigh. We're going to come into cow face or half cow face. So excuse me. You could sit up tall here and stay in half cow face. This is really a good place. But if you want to bend the bottom leg and come all the way into full gomukhasana, go ahead. If your butt cheeks, both sit bones don't reach the ground, prop something under your bottoms so that you do. Good. And then because the left leg's on top, the left arm's going to go around the back. So you can take your thumb down and then bring it around your back and walk it up as far as it's willing to go. And then the right arm reaches up and back, as if you're going to pat yourself right between the shoulder blades. And on this side, perhaps you find some space, or you're all there and you grab your wrists or your fingers. For some of us, we need a towel or a strap. Or back in the day, you did nothing. You just kind of reached till something moved. And then we're going to be here for a little while, now that we're here. So some of you might find that the bind is overbearing for your shoulders. So you could do one side or the other. You don't have to do both. And when we're halfway, I'm going to tell you to fold. Now, if there's no stretch for you while you're lifted and seated, then by all means, fold forward. Find your place of sensation. But if you've got a lot going on in this seated variation, then maybe you stay here for a few more breaths before you fold. And when you do fold, you can always release your arms. Breathe deep. Breathe deep into your chest. Relax your neck and lift your chin slightly, just so it's parallel to the floor. Sit heavy into your left hip. Know your right leg can always lengthen out. If you'd like to fold, we're halfway through. We fold. If you want to get rid of the bind, you can get rid of the bind. If you fold, try not to let the elbows cave in. Try to keep them lifting away from one another. Keep breathing. Deep inhales. Full exhale. See if you can get the exhale longer than the inhale. You're at the last 1 to 5 breaths. So if 1 was all you needed left, then you're going to start to untangle yourself. And when you do, we're going to untangle both legs out long. And then bend the knees and plant your feet. Hands back behind you a little bit. And just a few windshield wipers. This is my suggestion. You do what you need to do. The windshield wipers, it felt really good to me earlier to lift both legs up to the sky and stretch it out here. And then push into the hands and bring my chest a little closer to the knees. So a supported boat pose. You don't need to do that, but if it feels good for your hips, do it. And then cross your ankles, roll forward with your hands and knees. Maybe it feels good to take a couple cat counts. Maybe you just want to come to your bottom and start the second side. I don't know what you need to do to neutralize. So don't worry, we're not going to get that far ahead of you. This time the left leg's going to go out long and the right foot will be on the floor. We want that right heel to be right in front of the right hip bone if we can. Spring has got some high stuff happening for me. Inhale, lift the arms up and sit tall. We've got a few breaths to feel what it's like to stop yourself from falling down. What side do you sit heavier on? Good. Are you racing to forward fold to get away from something? And if it is, what are you trying to get away from? When you exhale, you're going to come forward, bringing both hands towards your foot. And if you make it, you're going to pull yourself in to a nice deep forward fold. If you don't, you're going to find your strap or apparatus and use it to help you fold in. And even before we go for the bind, we're going to spend a few breaths and this awkward forward fold. So we can find where our body is going to try and make adjustments. We can settle in. Roots. Maybe you can even visualize those root chakras coming out through your base and your feet, connecting you to the earth. Now, if you want to go ahead and take that bind or work your way into it, right arm wraps around the shin, and the left hand goes around the back. And it's still about the forward fold, not about the hands. So whether you're reaching your foot, the strap, or a bind, I need you to breathe. Pushing more weight into the big toe knuckle than the pinky toe. Allow your left leg to be active. Soften your belly so you can breathe deeply. Shoulders down your back. Now we're better than halfway through this side. How much more relaxed can you get now? Relax your face. Lift your belly up too. Are you building a fire? Or are you building a dam? We can get through this. We can get through the awareness and the tension. And everything feels so much better. Well, here we are at that last 1 to 5 breaths. If you have the bind or the strap, part of the bonus posture is to lift your leg up while you've got the bind. You could use the strap underneath your foot. We're going to extend that leg out long. Just because I can reach my foot, sometimes it's really nice to give myself that added length by using the straps. I can pull both sides of the ribs down, both sides of the neck up. Breathe deep. 5 more breaths. Feel that inhale expand all the way in. Feel the exhale leave your body all the way to empty. 4 more, just like that. Relax. Let the tension go. You are ever expanding consciousness. Don't let your body limit you. It's trying to help you. When you finish your last breath on this side, you're going to pull that knee in. And you're going to try and grab for the bottom of the foot and get that knee back as far as you can while you sit up tall. This is another really edgy pose. At home you could probably put your foot up on a bench or a block or the bed, pull out a drawer and use that to support yourself here. Let's take 3 more of those really slow breaths. Big inhale in. Bigger exhale out. We know there's yummy goodness happening, so breathe in, breathe out. Last really big round of breath. And if you need to extend that leg and let go of the tension, take it out one. Otherwise, we bring it over for a pigeon. You're going to cradle that leg and rock it back and forth. And then you're going to come to stillness. Now, we held this pigeon for quite some time on side A before we even tried moving into compass pose. So give yourself at least 3 more full rounds of breath. Settle into this side. Sitting up tall and opening up the hip as we try to get the knee right over the hip and the shin to the chest. Now, they're directions, not destination. Feeling those long lines, knowing that this left leg could bend. You could plant the foot, bend the knee, or keep it long. And if you went into compass pose, reach for the bottom of your right foot with your left hand. The right hand's going to go underneath. Walk that leg up on top of your shoulder or your bicep or wherever it goes. Might even be your elbow. That's where mine was 4 years ago. And as you pin that leg back with your hand, you're kind of stuck here now. And this could be it. This could be your pose. It's a yummy stretch. It starts to open up that hamstring. Left side body as you straighten the leg. Now it's either pigeon or compass. Breathe. The right one is the right one for you tonight. There's so many lovely spots along the way. Sometimes the best opening happens in the in-between poses, places we're not expecting. So we're always in a time of uncertainty. Let your breath become the certainty. So you can calm your emotions and have good reactions. Taking time to think and breathe so our responses aren't emotionally driven, but more gut instinct. Sit tall, lengthen your spine. The hard one. Lean back on something if you need to. Relax your belly and your jaw and your forehead. Just about when you want to run away, well, that's when the real work is happening. Keep with it. We're almost there. Do you feel any tension, resistance, or heat? Are you resisting around it, clamping down, ignoring? Or can you let it go with your breath and love? Choose love. Right now you have to choose 1 to 5 more breaths. And when you finish, you're going to cross that leg over, stepping the right foot outside your left thigh. If you needed to extend it long and reset that hip, go ahead. Now we're coming into our cow face pose on this side. So you could bend your bottom leg or keep it straight. The important part is getting both butt cheeks down. And then this time the right leg is on top, so the right arm is going to go behind the back and up first. And then the left hand is going to go up and over, trying to pat yourself on the back. And remember, you're in control of the intensity, so make your adjustments as needed. Once you get your arms behind you in some fashion, relax, breathe, open those elbows, think about away from each other, going to the ceiling and the floor, and then backward towards the wall behind you. Pushing into, what is that? Your right foot and into your right big toe mound if you can. Breathe deep. See if you can lift your gaze a little. And remember, if that bottom leg needs to come out, have it out. Become aware that you are breathing in joy, breathing out kindness. Breathe in acceptance. Breathe out attention. Breathe in. Breathe out. So for those of you who folded on the last side, we've got about 3 more breaths before we're at the halfway point. Remember, the arms are there for you if you need it. You're going to fold forward, allow yourself to come forward. Don't let the arms cave in with the rounding of your back. Try to keep those elbows moving away from one another. And this direction would be towards the ceiling. That's if you're folding. If you've got enough sensation seated, then maybe you're just hanging out seated. What if you breathe in acceptance on the inhale? And what if you breathe out release on the exhale? Who and why is asking you to hold all that tension? What purpose does it serve? Well, we made it. Last 1 to 5 breaths. And then you'll rehab your legs. So take your time. If you've got 5 breaths, that's like another 30 seconds or so. So take your time. And if you've got to rehab those arms, shaking them is always good. If you got to rehab those legs, what are they craving? Sometimes the simplest things, like the windshield wipers, can take away any of that tension. Good. So you might need to turn sideways on your mat. The carpeting at home might be just dandy, or wherever you're practicing. You're going to come to hands and knees at some point. If you need some cat cows, you'll take them. But we're going to move into frog. So actually, I'd like you to come sideways on your mat. Take your knees out as wide as you can get them. And then take your feet out a little wider than your knees if you can. And with your hands supporting you on the ground, maybe you take a couple cat cows and frog. Feel what that's like to rotate your pelvis back and forth in this awkward position. And they don't have to be big cat cows, and your knees don't have to be so far apart that you feel like you're gonna rip into. But eventually, you're gonna push your hips back as if you were gonna sit down right between your heels, and then you're gonna lay yourself out as far as you can. So a pillow under your chest or a blanket, stretching the arms out. And if your butt isn't on the ground and it's up in the air, you can tilt your pelvis like in cow pose, or you can roll it under like in cat pose. So you can take your cat cows with the pelvis in your frog, because frog isn't interesting enough all by itself. And then breathe. It seems so silly, and at the same time, the suggestion of a deeper breath. We all get into a sensational place, and our breath can become shallow, choked off, stifled. Make sure yours is fluid. Breathe in, breathe out. What if you felt completely safe in your body? And you could let go of whatever's in your way, letting those hips reach the earth. Your shoulders relaxing. Your jaw would stop clenching. Imagine how liberating it would be to feel that safe in your own skin. difficulty there. 1 to 5 more breaths in your frog. Some days it feels good to stay, other days we feel like a frog, we got to hop right out of there. So if it's a feel good kind of day, maybe you exit with those cat cows. If it's a no, I got to hop right to it kind of thing, turn the toes in and walk those knees in. And rehab yourself the way that you see best. The next place that I want us to come is in another back bend. So you could come onto your back for a back bend, or you could come onto your belly for a back bend. And when we get to the back bend, take your time. It could be supported bridge, unsupported bridge. It could be sphinx. It could be fish. It could be puppy. Where does it feel good for you to bend? Maybe you don't want supported bridge. You come all the way up and you decide that it's okay to be in regular bridge. Once you find that place and your back begins to rise and your arch starts to happen, we're going to take some deep, deep cleansing breaths here, all through the nose though, so let all your breathing be through your nose. So push the ground away with your feet or whatever is supporting you. So I'm on my back, so I'm going to push the ground away with my feet, my hands, my shoulder, and the back of my head. And then I'm going to lift my chin and then try and lift my hips just a little bit more without engaging the glutes. And if they're going to want to tense up at first, then I'm going to unclench them, and then I'm going to use the power of the glutes to lift, and then I'm going to see if I can relax those muscles. Wherever you are in your back bend, let it feel delicious. Take an inhale to your fullest capacity and fill your belly up as big as you can get it. And now on the exhale, empty your belly out as slowly as you can. Take twice as long as the inhale. If you're on my count, inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Don't rush. 2, 1. Inhale deeply. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds at your own pace. Fill yourself up, nice and slow and steady. And then empty out even slower. Good, last round of breath. Make it strong. Make it your biggest one yet. Why? Because we have time still. And then because I can't see what back bends everybody chose, when you let this last big round of breath out, nice and slow, easy does it. You might need to hug your knees in. You might need a twist or a forward fold. Because I was on my back, I'm going to go with the twist. That's the last 1 to 5 breaths. If you're still digging your back bends, take it. Right? So spinal twist if you're on your back or your belly. But you decide, maybe you needed the seated forward fold, soles of your feet together, legs out wide. Maybe you decided to choose the inversion. Either way, it's about 20-ish breaths, about 2 minutes. Well, let's be generous. Let's make it 3 tonight. Be decadent. See if you can allow the breath to start to smooth out. Less control, but watch it. All the way in. All the way out. Notice what stops the breath on the way in. Notice if there's anything stopping it on the way out. If you're moving side to side, you have about 5 more breaths on this side. And then take it to the other side. If you're forward folding, you're halfway done. If you'd like to make yourself more comfortable. And if you're inverted, halfway done, in case you want to make adjustments. Allow your body to communicate with you. Listen through the breath. As you finish the next few breaths, you'll make your way into Shavasana, and you'll get very, very comfortable there. And allow this to be the most passive pose of the class. What does it feel like when you let go of everything? This beautiful gift of living in the moment happens when we follow our breath. And even though living in the moment means living in uncertainty, it means we're calm enough to handle it. We can become reasonable and rational in the moment. Now, I'm going to encourage you to take some cleansing breaths. Cover yourselves up. Or get comfortable in the way that serves you. And I'm going to wake you up from Shavasana because we're going to finish class with another breathing technique. So take your rest. This is opposed to, I need everybody to have the best Shavasana of the class. Like if we had a competition, you would get the gold star. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring a little awareness back in. There might be some resistance. Sometimes we don't want to leave Shavasana, especially after a yoga yin. I know. Sometimes I don't either. Since I can't really see if you do it or not, I suppose you have to. But once you find your breath and you've reestablished the connection to it, we're going to take a nice big long stretch of the body. If you've got props in your way, you're going to need to just gently set them away. Side. Words are getting hard. Now we're going to lift up onto our elbows. Take your time. You don't have to go as quickly as I do, Charlie. Bye. Bye. I forgot to put the gate up. Bye, Charlie. We're going to do some lion's breath. Lion fish, as long as I don't get overloved by my dog. So once you get yourself set up into fish pose, hands down, forearms down, shoulders under, elbows under shoulders, lift your chin and chest and lift your head too. Don't get noodle heady back here. Lengthen your spine. We're taking 3 rounds. Big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth in lion's breath. Push the air out from your navel. Inhale deeply. Open your tongue and really stick it out. One more. Make it your pace. Once the air is all expelled, you can come all the way up to seated, or you can rock back onto your back and then roll up to a seat. So I was told by one of our students, Kathy Payton, who's also a nurse, that lion's breath right now is really great for draining the mucus. So whether we're fighting a pandemic or just spring allergies, it's nice to know we have something that can help us drain the throat. So sitting up nice and tall, another cleansing breath, big breath in, and then release it. I'm going to Om, and you can join in or not. Inhale deeply. Om. Thank you so very much, my friends, for being here. Hands to heart center. Namaste.